Like any other first-person shooter, Bulletstorm puts a big gun in your hands and asks you to kill people with it. This resonates with the audience in today's competitive market. Unlike other shooters, though, Bulletstorm goes to great lengths to encourage you to kill people in many different ways, using points and prizes as motivation, and goading you on in a loud and obnoxious voice that seems blissfully unaware of the line between hilarity and offensiveness. It's understandable to have reservations. This is a game that tried to bully you into a pre-order with insults.
Hey, dick tits! This game ain't gonna pre-order itself!
Is this the kind of storm you want to get mixed up in?
What?
Warning, airlock safety release.
Hey, third bounty hunter this week.
Christmas come early, boys. We got us some mass murdering piece of shit out there waiting on us to deliver some reparation.
Penned by Marvel Comics writer Rick Remender, Bulletstorm's freewheeling, semi-entertaining sci-fi storyline follows ex-Black Ops dude Gray, a man out for revenge after being manipulated by his superior. When said revenge doesn't go as planned, Gray finds himself and what's left of his crew marooned on a futuristic utopia overrun with cyberpunk bandits. Fortunately, the guy you really want to kill is in the same boat. Everyone in the game comes across as a jerk of some magnitude, with the biggest baddie rightly acting as the worst of the lot.
You namby-pamby cocksucks are Confederate-sanctioned assassins!
Though their flaws don't necessarily equal depth, most of the cast is at least somewhat likable. The sole exception is your cyborg wingman Ishii, whose cold computer side battles his caricatured Bushido-esque persona to almost no dramatic effect.
I do not trust either of you, and I will not hesitate to gun down the first who betrays my confidence. I'm sorry.
Along with its incredible surplus of profanity and gore, Bulletstorm offers you a solid and varied 6 to 10 hour single-player run with an integrated point-based scoring system. Performing specific kinds of kills the game calls skill shots earns you credits, which you use to unlock weapons and power-ups from cash and carry kiosks. New stuff is unlocked as you gradually make your way through the game, and you use the tools at hand to clear a path ahead and ideally rack up big points with your creative kills. The shopping incentives do a lot to promote gameplay variety, but you can sometimes feel that the game is holding out on you. Everything is unlocked in a specific order, so your options are limited even when you're using chapter select or replaying the game. You could find that you've banked plenty of points, but have nothing to spend them on, especially near the end. Even so, killing, upgrading your kit, then killing people in new and exciting ways is a very satisfying loop. Echoes mode offers smaller commitments, isolating chunks of the main event for tightly focused score attack runs. Despite distilling the game down to its essence, you'll still feel that something's missing. That something is novelty. You've seen all this before in single player. It's a great addition to the game for competitive players, but if you're aiming to experience rather than to achieve, Echoes won't add much value. Multiplayer in Bulletstorm is limited to the cooperative players versus mob anarchy mode. Working together is not only vital to meeting the score requirements for each wave, it's vital for having any fun at all. A single team member can come in at the top of the scoreboard by hogging the points and holding his team back, so you frequently have to resist the urge to kill. If you can get a serious group together, it can be a fun experience, but well-organized play runs the risk of muting the chaos entirely, resulting in a job that's not unlike garbage disposal in a mildly unsafe work environment.
Another 5 left!
Bulletstorm's kill with skill tagline does indeed rhyme, and it fits easily on the back of the box, but it only vaguely describes the game's philosophy. You'll definitely need some skill, but what the game truly encourages you to do is kill in a variety of different ways. Each individual element of the game is tuned to provide diverse and varied carnage. The weapon set has a lot of power, with a reliable assault rifle supplemented with more specialized options like a bazooka that launches bouncing balls of doom, or a sniper rifle that lets you steer bullets into enemy skulls. Some weapons feel a little impractical, but you're rarely required to use a specific gun. The leash you acquire early in the game does a great job of bringing enemies to you so you can bring death to them, with a well-tuned aim assist and the ability to send a crowd of enemies into the air. Leashing is complemented by kicking, which sets your enemies up for more punishment and knocks them into various lethal objects, or vice versa. And while it's not quite as big a part of combat, your ability to slide takes the cake, allowing you to knock quick enemies off their feet and making getting around a level much more fun. You'll find yourself checking the in-game skill shot list as soon as you buy a new weapon or upgrade, though to avoid totally killing the thrill of discovery, the game keeps certain skill shots secret until you pull them off. While you might sometimes feel like you've been handed a giant to-do list, the majority of these maneuvers are actually satisfying and fun to pull off. There may be a few instances where you're denied credit for a shot that you were sure you made, but since you're not required to play a specific way, new opportunities are always around the corner. Bulletstorm does a very good job keeping its basic action interesting, switching up the tempo with classic shooter tropes like sniper time, on-rails turret action, and a weapon that lets you drive around a giant robotic dinosaur. Okay, so that one is kind of original. Less successful are the game's quick-time events, which have a passive fill-in-the-blank feel. Stakes also feel low when you're up against bullet fodder, especially outside the campaign, but there are plenty of aggressive enemies as well, including mass-produced mini-bosses with guns as big as yours.
Oh, great. Where did this giant dick come from?
Maybe need like a softer title, Ishi? Is that it? How about, disagreeable person's disposal unit?
A lot of the dumb, juvenile humor is likely going to fall flat on your ears, but no matter how you feel about its style, it's impossible to deny that the game is technically outstanding. You'll find some staggeringly realistic touches to a very cartoonish world that's filled with color, detail, and tons of stuff that causes death, destruction, and bloodshed. Generic action music does its job in that it gives you something to shoot to, but the voice acting really works hard to sell the package.
Holy shit! Ishi's signal is coming from below it!
Probably already shit him out.
Although you'll have to be able to stand the innuendo and profanity-powered script, that's about 5 parts filthy, 4 parts goofy, and 1 part genuinely clever.
Man. Make like a Kaiser and roll!
Whether Bulletstorm is a parody of other action games, a celebration of gaming's collective macho stupidity, or both, it works out pretty well. If you can make peace with the ridiculous vibe, it's almost a sure thing that you'll have fun with it. It doesn't have the legs to sustain it for months, so you might want to approach the game as one of its characters would approach a leather-clad Mad Max reject. Wham bam, thank you ma'am.
See? You work together, you kill together!